Bajrang Punia returns Padma Shri in protest over WFI poll result. Tokyo Olympic bronze medalist Bajrang Punia returned his Padma Shri on Friday in protest against the election of Braj Bhushan Sharan Singh loyalist Sanjay Kumar Singh as president of the Wrestling Federation of India. Bajrang, who was conferred the Padma Shri in 2019, first announced his decision in a post on X. I am returning my Padma Shri award to the Prime Minister. He posted, his decision came a day after another Olympic medalist Sakshi Malik quit the sport following Singh's controversial election. Macron to be chief guest at Republic Day parade. French President Emmanuel Macron will be the chief guest at next month's Republic Day parade, the government said Friday. The government invited Macron after US President Joe Biden declined India's invite. This will be the sixth time that a French leader will grace the occasion. After Delhi's air quality fell sharply to the severe level on Friday, the subcommittee of the Commission for Air Quality Management imposed Stage 3 of the Graded Response Action Plan in Delhi NCR with immediate effect. As part of these measures, CAQM asked NCR states to ban plying of BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel four-wheelers in Delhi and Gurgaon, Faridabad, Ghaziabad and Gautam Budh Nagar districts. Construction and demolition, stone crushers and mining related activities were also banned. A senior Delhi transport official said the curbs would come into force from Saturday morning. Delhi's average AQI was 409 on Friday, back after 28 days. Earlier, GRAP 3 measures were in force from November 2 to 28. An accumulation of local pollution elements on Friday pushed Delhi's AQI to 409, ending the city's 28-day break from severe air quality. The last time Delhi recorded an AQI between 400 and 500 was November 24, it was 415. Experts have said that on Saturday too the AQI could be severe unless the city sees rain, which has been forecast. Coupled with the bad air, a fog is expected to blanket the city early on Saturday morning that could reduce the visibility to 200 meters. The average air quality index was 398 at 11 am on Friday, but by 4 pm it was to 409. Experts said the air quality worsened on Friday because of the low ventilation factor that allowed local pollution to settle. The air quality is likely to be severe on Saturday, IITM's air quality early warning system predicted, adding that on Sunday and Monday the AQI is likely to remaining in the very poor category. In the next 6 days, the predominant surface wind is likely to be from the southeast direction with a wind speed of 4 to 10 kmph during the daytime and calm air wind during evening and night, the early warning system said. The ventilation index is likely to be 1000 meters square per second on Saturday and Sunday and 5000 meters per second on Monday. A ventilation index lower than 6000 meters square per second with an average wind speed of less than 10 kmph is unhelpful to the dispersion of pollutants. The IITM's decision support system showed that 15% of the city's total PM 2.5 emissions were from transport, 6% from industries and 31% from the other sources. On Friday, PM 2.5 and PM 10 levels spiked. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, the PM level hovered around 209 micrograms per cubic meters at 3 pm. The safe limit according to the World Health Organization's norms is 15 units in 24 hours. Karnataka government reverses BJP rhymes hijab curbs. Nearly 2 years after then BJP government issued an order barring students from deviating from the dress code prescribed by the managements of school and colleges and effectively prescribed wearing of hijab on campuses. Karnataka CM Siddharamaiah on Friday said he has directed authority to reverse that directive. making this announcement while addressing a gathering at Muslim-dominated Kavalan in Mysuru. The CM said, "Choice of dress and food is personal and no one should interfere with it." His statement comes less than 6 months before the crucial Lok Sabha elections. When the audience specifically asked him on restriction of hijab in educational institutions, Siddharamai said, "There are no restriction on wearing hijab. Students can go to school wearing hijab. I have asked to rescind the order and it will be done. Let people eat and wear dress of their choice. I am wearing a dhoti and he is wearing a trouser. What's wrong in it?" In January 22, a few right-wing organizations had taken objection to students wearing hijab to schools and colleges and got their activists to wear saffron shawls as a counter move. The then BJP government issued a circular on February 5 mandating the dress code prescribed by managements of schools and colleges should be adhered to. The circular did not officially ban hijab as such, but drawing strength from the circular, management of government PU College for Girls Udupi barred students from wearing hijab on campuses. Charging BJP of playing vote bank politics, the CM said Congress will not follow suit. Congress plans to limit scope of Raithu Bandhu. Amid speculations about a likely cap on land extent to be eligible for Raithu Bharosa, which is Congress version of BRS Raithu Bandhu scheme, Telangana government is scrutinizing two other reasonable restrictions to improve the scheme. For now, officials said the old system will be implemented in the current cycle. As per sources, the likely restrictions under scrutiny are removing land not under cultivation from the scheme and allowing the scheme for only those living in the state. Currently, landowners get benefit irrespective of wealth they are cultivating or not. This was considered by BRS government too, but it later decided to implement it. Macron replaces Biden as chief guest of Republic Parade next year. French President Emmanuel Macron will be the chief guest at the Republic Day parade next month, the government said on Friday. The government invited Macron after US President Joe Biden declined India's invite for the prestigious event. PM Narendra Modi was the chief guest at the Bastille Day celebrations in Paris in July this year. Francois Hollande in 2016 was the last French president to participate in India's Republic Day celebrations. This will be the 6th time that a French leader will grace the occasion. In a post on X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, "My dear friend President Emmanuel Macron, we eagerly look forward to receiving you as the chief guest at the 75th Republic Day. We will also celebrate India-France strategic partnership and shared belief in democratic values." Earlier, Macron said, "Thank you for your invitation, my dear friend Narendra Modi. India on your Republic Day, I'll be here to celebrate with you. France is India's most important strategic partner in Europe and also an indispensable partner in the Indian Ocean where its resident power. In recent times, India's ties with France have grown in areas like defense, security, space and energy. It has also backed India's efforts to have an independent defense industry by allowing transfer of advanced technology. As strategic partners, India and France share a high degree of convergence on a range of regional and global issues," the government said in a statement. It added, "India and France are currently celebrating the 25th anniversary of the India-France strategic partnership." One can check out in Padma, protest but can never leave. There is no provision for return or acceptance of returned awards. Awardee will remain on records. Olympic medal winning wrestler Bajrang Punia is not the first person to return his Padma Shri award after having received it as the mark of protest. However, like all those who have returned their Padma honor, which comes with a certificate and decoration, over the years he will very much remain in the register of awardees, as the regulation have no provision for either the return or acceptance of returned awards. While an awardee may announce his decision to return the award for whatever reason, Padma Awards regulations do not cover this eventuality. They only allow cancellation and annulment of the awards by the president without specifying the grounds. The awardee continues to be in the register of Padma recipients maintained under direction of the President until his or her award is annulled. The rules provide for cancellation of such annulment by the President and official told. There is no history of annulment of the Padma award. The awards are conferred after verification of character and antecedents of the persons by investigating agencies of the country. The Minister of the State of Home, Kiran Rijiju, had told Rajya Sabha in 2018. As per normal practice, willingness of the person proposed to be conferred Padma awards is informally ascertained to the extent possible before the announcement of the awards. Many have declined the award at this point. After a person is decorated with Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan or Padma Shri, his or her name is published in Gazette of India and a register of such recipients is maintained. Even if the awardee later volunteers to return the Padma award, his or her name is not removed from the Gazette or the register of awardees, said an officer. The most recent cases relating to return of Padma awards were the former Punjab CM Prakash Singh Badal and former Union Minister S.S. Dhindsa. They wrote to the President in 2020 saying that they were returning their awards in solidarity with the farmers protesting against the 3 farm laws. Incidentally, the names of Badal and Dhindsa still figure in the register of Padma awardees. External Affairs Minister, dual citizenship poses challenges but debate still alive. Union External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on Friday said there is a lot of complications in providing dual citizenship to Indians settled abroad. Interacting with entrepreneurs at Take Pride 23, the 20th Young Indians National Summit organized by the CII in Chennai, Jaishankar said there are security and economical challenges. There are challenges as to Indians living in which countries should be provided dual citizenship. The External Affairs Minister said the OCI is the step to bridge the demand, but the debate is still alive. He was replying to a question posed by one of the participants about the case of doing business for Indian entrepreneurs settled in India and the protest of providing dual citizenship for them. In reply to another question on the recent announcement of Union Home Minister Amit Shah on reservation of 24 seats in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and possibility of holding elections there, Jaishankar said it was reaffirmation of sovereignty of India. He said the mechanism is complicated but the basic message has been sent and it is loud. Earlier at the summit, Jaishankar said whenever he thinks of India, he remembers about the 3 T's, that the shaping of the country: talent, technology and tradition. NIA starts Poonch probe, detains over 2 dozen suspects. NIA descended Friday at the site in J&K Poonch where terrorists ambushed 2 army vehicles and killed 4 soldiers the previous day, scanning the site and detaining over 2 dozen suspects in the latest in a series of such attacks in Jammu area in the past few months. NIA teams are not usually sent by the center in the immediate aftermath of such terror strikes in the army squads. Friday's arrivals in the middle of an intensive army combing operations to flush out the attackers underscored the gravity of the situation after the attack that also injured 3 other soldiers. The Band People Anti-Fascist Front PAF, an offshoot of the Pakistan-backed Jaish-e-Mohammed, has owned up the ambush. Thursday's strike in Dera Ki Gali of Poonch Surankot area on the convoy fearing reinforcement of the ongoing anti-terror operation came a month after forces lost 5 personnel in a similar offensive in adjoining Rajouri. The NIA sent its team to the scene. Several houses are being searched, 30 suspects are being questioned, an official source said. Sources said the terrorists, believed to be 3 or 4, took positions on hilltops and chose a blind curve to target the army vehicles. They use US-made M40 rifles, not traditional AK-47 or 56, the source said. Choppers, drones, and sniffer dogs are trolling the dense forest of Dairaki Gully for the attackers in the cordon and search operation. Additional troops were deployed on Friday. Before this, PAF had claimed responsibility for an ambush this April, killing 5 army jawans after lobbing grenades and firing steel core bullets. Such bullets have been found this time too, said sources. Thursday's ambush came less than a month after Northern Army Commander Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi indicated the presence of retired Pakistani soldiers among terrorists in J&K, flashing the alert days after the Rajouri encounter in which 5 army personnel and a top Lashkar-e-Toiba died along with another operative. High Court stays order to give FIR copy to Parliament breach accused. The Delhi government had stayed Friday a trial court's order directing police to provide a copy of the Parliament breach FIR to one of the suspects, Neelam. Justice this issued notice to Neelam and sought her responsive to Delhi police plea challenging the trial's court Thursday order. Execution of the order stayed till the next date of hearing, the High Court said, and listed the matter for January 4. Mumbai University joined hands with Oxford Centre for Temple Management course. The Mumbai University will soon be launching a certificate course in temple management in collaboration with the Oxford Centre for Hindu Studies. As the country is home to several major temples, a unique management course drawing inspiration from real-life examples will help interested candidates, saying the university administration. Based on the interest from students and employment opportunities, the university may extend it to a postgraduate diploma or an MBA program in future. The University Centre for Hindu Studies and Department of Sanskrit has signed a MOU with the Oxford Centre for Hindu Studies. The focus will be on comprehensive study of Hindu philosophy, and both the departments will be developing curriculum in collaboration with the Oxford Centre for Certificate Diploma courses in online and offline formats. The temple management course is an outcome of the MOU signed with the Oxford Centre. The 6-month certificate course will be started in line with the National Education Policy's thrust on incorporating the Indian knowledge system in higher education curriculum. The course will be designed with the help of university's 2 management schools, Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies and Alkesh Dinesh Modi Institute, by seeking real-life implementation of management principles in established temples such as Sri Sai Baba Sansthan Trust and Shivgaon Gajanan Maharaja Temple or even ISKCON, said a university official. Some are managing electricity by making use of solar-operated systems. Some are making use of flowers offered by devotees to make incense sticks, which is also creating employment opportunities. Some have started using technology to manage queues. There are books written on these practices which can be used as references, added the official. Ravikant Sangrud and Madhvi Narsale will be the university's coordinators. Unemployment behind Parliament breach, Rahul. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi said the youth of the India spend 7.5 hours a day on social media because they don't have jobs, blaming the Modi government for rampant unemployment in the country, which he said was the reason behind the security breach in Parliament on December 13. Continuing with this attack, the BJP, after Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhad's claim that he was mimicked by an opposition MP because of his Jat caste, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge asked if his Dalit identity is the reason for that he is regularly denied the opportunity to speak in Rajya Sabha on the issues of rape, atrocities, and women, Dalits, or farmers. The strong attack on the Modi government came at opposition's Save Democracy protest at Jantar Mantar on Friday, where the India Bloc leader gave a call to defeat BJP. Among those present were Sharad Pawar, Sitaram Yechuri, TMC MP Mosam Noor, CPI leader D. Raja, this. Rahul said the security breach in Parliament reflects the failure of the Modi government. The issue is how did they enter the parliament? If they could bring a gas cylinder inside the parliament, they could have brought something else too. But the second issue is why they protest. The reason is rampant unemployment in the country. He said, according to Rahul, he asked a survey firm to check in any random city how much time do the youngsters with phones spend on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. He said the findings were 7.5 hours a day. Opposition MPs asked to be suspended. Prahlad. A day after Parliament's winter session was adjourned since DI Union Minister Prahlad Joshi launched a scathing attack on opposition leaders over the suspension of MPs from both houses of Parliament and said they themselves asked to be suspended. Addressing a press briefing, Joshi said 19 bills including Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita and Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam were passed by Parliament. While these bills were passed, 146 MPs were suspended over the ruckus, demanding a statement from Home Minister Amit Shah on the Parliament security breach. Hitting out the opposition over the suspension of MPs, Joshi said they themselves came and said to suspend them and Congress has such a low-level strategy. Union Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal, who was also present at the briefing, said the opposition was looking for revenge after the defeat in the assembly elections. The Speaker in the custodian of Parliament, the Lok Sabha Speaker, is saying repeatedly that he is responsible for security. Why are they not trusting that the Speaker is saying? They were deliberately looking for revenge after the defeat in the assembly elections. They had been planning internally and they got the opportunity, Meghwal said. Claiming that the Vice President was insulted, he said Congress believes it is the right to govern. They think the Vice President should be one nominated by them. They cannot stand PM Modi, President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankad. It is their mentality to insult Dalits, farmers and backward classes. Congress days of befooling people over, says BJP. BJP on Friday slammed Rahul Gandhi as an immature and undemocratic leader and made light of the India bloc protest at Jantar Mantar, saying the days of befooling people with such an agitation are gone as they now trust the guarantees of PM Narendra Modi. With the opposition flaying the government for the suspension of its 146 MPs during Parliament winter session over their protest on the issue of security breach, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur said all MPs should have spoken in one voice over such a sensitive matter, but leaders like Rahul Gandhi are instead levelling false allegations. India bloc parties did not participate in discussions in Parliament over people, issues and important bills, and it seems that they have lost their mental balance following the drubbing they received in recent assembly polls, he said. BJP national spokesperson Sambit Patra said Rahul's frustration after the poll loses is visible in his conduct is the way Vice President Jagdeep Dhankad was mimicked and body shamed, and evidence of Mohabbat ki dukaan and Nafrat ki dukaan. He asked and took a swipe on Congress for its show of corruption by referring to the recovery of over rupees 350 crore in cash from firms linked to the MP Dheeraj Prasad Sahu. Thakur accused India bloc parties of insulting constitutional positions with the mimicry of Dhankad and sought an apology from Congress. Instead, the lips of Sonia Gandhi and Rahul are sealed. They are hurling false allegations instead of offering an apology, he said. Jats and farmers will not forgive them for insulting Dhankad, he added. Dhankad replies to Khadge Pawar over suspensions in two separate letters to leader of opposition Mallikarjun Khadge and NCP Patriarch Sharad Pawar. Two of the senior most MPs in Rajya Sabha, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankad sought to justify the suspension of opposition MPs while lamenting the opposition's refusal to engage with him when invited and calling it a rebuff, not a sync with parliamentary practice, reports Swati Mathur. In response to the two letters from Khadge, Dhankad said he was pained by the Congress chief refusal to interact with him in his chamber to ensure his wholesome functioning of the House. As a veteran of the parliamentary mechanism, you are well aware of the interaction with the presiding officer of his high priority. Nothing can be more painful and severe setback to the office. I told that interaction being not availed. It was rebuffed not in sync with parliamentary practices, Dhankar said. The vice president also said the opposition's requests were refused because they failed to meet the procedural requirements and said their persistence was only unfortunate but also against public interest. In a separate missive to Pawar, the vice president lamented the politicization of parliament security breach and said the incident should not be seen in a partisan manner but legislators must collectively reflect addressing the problem. UNSC toned down Gaza aid resolution, US abstains. The United Nations Security Council on Friday adopted a resolution calling for a surge in aid to desperate civilians in the Gaza Strip, ending nearly a week of intense diplomatic wrangling intended to ensure the US would not block the measure. The vote was 13-0 in favor of the resolution, with the US and Russia abstaining. The final version of the resolution did not call for pauses in the fighting at the insistence of the US and was unlikely to affect the fighting in Gaza, where about 20,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli military assault. The resolution was adopted after Council diplomats repeatedly delaying the vote this week and revoked the measure in intense negotiations aimed at winning support from the White House and its allies in the Israeli government. We know this is not a perfect text. We know only a ceasefire will stop the suffering, said Lana Nasbe, the ambassador for the UAE who has been leading the negotiations. The US had previously voted 2 resolutions calling for a ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas that put Washington at odds with the major powers and with the Arab world. Friday's resolution put forward by the UAE, the only Arab country currently on the 15-member council, called the warning parties in Gaza to allow the use of all available routes into Gaza for aid deliveries, according to a draft that was circulated before the vote. The draft was dropped a call for the urgent suspension of hostilities from an earlier version, instead calling for urgent steps to allow unhindered humanitarian access and the creation of the conditions for a sustainable cessation of hostilities. The US had rejected an earlier version of the resolution that put the UN in charge of inspecting aid shipments for weapons and other contraband, arguing that Israelis should be involved in the process to make it workable. Even though she did not vote in favor of the resolution, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, the US ambassador to the UN, said it speaks to the severity of the crisis and it calls on all of us to do more. Ms. Thompson-Greenfield did not explain why the US had abstained, but said she was deeply disappointed that the resolution did not condemn Hamas terrorist attack on Israel. Russia's ambassador to the UN, Vasily, this efforts to change the text to their liking were cynical and shameful. Sad to see Braj Bhushan being garlanded, cheered Bajrang. Later in the evening, Bajrang, accompanied by a group of wrestlers, was stopped by Delhi police on Kartavya Path near India Gate when he tried to make his way towards PM Narendra Modi's residence on Lok Kalyan Marg. Bajrang wanted to return his Padma Shri medallion to the PM since he didn't have an appointment. Police refused permissions and requested him to leave the site. Bajrang then left the medallion to the footpath and walked away. The medallion was later picked by a police personnel. This shocking decision by Bajrang, the only Indian wrestler to win 4 World Championship medals, came a day after another Olympic medalist Sakshi Malik hung her boots following the controversial election of Singh and his panel, which won 13 of the 15 seats in the new Executive Council of WFI. Singh was brought into the contest as a presidential hopeful by former WFI chief Braj Bhushan, who has been his friend for 30 years. After his resounding 47 victory over the rival group's Anita Shurans in the federation elections on Thursday, Singh described Braj Bhushan as an elder brother and guide. Bajrang, who was one of the leading faces of the wrestlers protesting demanding action against Braj Bhushan over allegations of sexual harassment leveled by the 6 female grapplers, attached a letter addressed to the PM with his post on X, explaining his reason behind the decision. You must be aware that a women wrestlers of the country started a protest in January this year against Braj Bhushan Singh, accusing him of sexual harassment. I too had joined their protest. The protest stopped after the government promised strong action, but even after 3 months there were no FIR against Braj Bhushan, so we took the streets in April again so that Delhi police would at least file an FIR against them. There were 19 complaints in January, but the number came down to 7 by April. This means Braj Bhushan exerted his influence and forced the other 12 wrestlers to leave their protest, the wrestler said. Our protest went on 40 days. There was a lot of pressure on us during those days. Our protest site was vandalized and we were not allowed to protest anymore. We did not know what to do next. We want to immerse our medals in the Ganga. At that time, a minister from your cabinet called us and assured that we would get justice. We also met the Union Home Minister, who also promised us justice. So we stopped our protest. Sports has empowered our women athletes and changed their lives. But the situation is such that women who could have seen the brand ambassadors of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao are now leaving the sport, and we, the wrestlers who were awarded, could not do anything. I can't live my life as a Padma Shri awardee with our women wrestlers are insulted, hence I return this award to you, his statement read. This fight was about getting justice for our women wrestlers. Sadly, our grievances were not heard by the government. Braj Bhushan's aide had occupied the top post, but we all know that who will call the shots. Our fight was never against the government, but one man, Braj Bhushan. It's sad to see the being garlanded and cheered. The government had promised us that they could support us in our fight. There no reason to keep this government recognition when we did not get justice, he told reporters. Thanks to his audacious stroke play in the IPL, by now it is well known that Sanju Samson can attack the best opposition attacks from the word go. However, on Thursday against South Africa in Parel, the 29-year-old took 110 balls to flex his muscles after reaching a career-defining 100 that helped India clinch the ODI series against the Proteas 2-1. An exquisite timer of the ball, Samson seemed a T20 natural when he burst onto the scene almost a decade back. However, he had found ongoing tough in the shortest format despite making his India debut in Harare almost 8 years ago. Samson seems more at home in ODIs, where he made his appearance only in July 21 against Sri Lanka. In 16 ODIs, Samson has an average of 56 and a strike rate of close to 100. With 350s beside his century he scored on Thursday. The Rajasthan Royals keeper prefers to bat at number 3 and number 4 for his franchise and bats at the same position for Kerala in domestic cricket. For India, though, innings in Parel was just the third occasion when he has got an opportunity to bat at number 3. After the knock in Parel, the Trivandrum lad hinted that he prefers to bat up to order. This format gives you extra time to understand the wicket and the bowler mindset. Batting at the top of the order gives you 10-20 extra deliveries, said Samson. With ODI stalwart Virat Kohli occupying the number 3 slot and Shreyas Iyer being preferred at number 4, the team management had tried to give Sanju the role of a finisher. In the year leading up to the ODI World Cup, they made him bat at number 5 and number 6 when the senior pros were either injured or rested. Samson didn't play badly, but when the big tournament came calling, the selectors opted for Surya Kumar Yadav instead. KL Rahul, India's keeper for the ODI series, even admitted that Samson has not received enough opportunities at the top of the order. Samson didn't get the opportunity to bat in the first ODI. He chopped the ball on his stumps when he was on 12 in the second ODI. So when he walked out to bat on Thursday, he knew his career was on the line. Pushed on into a corner, he delivered. The last 3-4 months were challenging for me mentally. So going through all that and coming here doing what I did today was feel really happy and grateful. I have blessed in my genes. My father is also a sportsman. So however many setbacks you have, I think there's always no other way but to bounce back. Just think about how much you can work on yourself and how you can come back more strongly, he added. Kohli returns home due to family emergency. Virat Kohli had returned to India due to family emergency, but the senior batter will be back in time for the first test against South Africa starting next week. Kohli had travelled to South Africa as a part of the squad of the 2-test series which will begin at Supersport Park on December 26. Virat Kohli has returned to India due to a family emergency, but he will be back before start of the first test, a BCCI source said on Friday. It is understood that Kohli had already taken permission from the top BCCI brass about his short leave. Virat left on Thursday. It was pre-decided. Virat didn't take part in the 3-day intra-squad match where India and India's A players took part, the source has added. No one in the BCCI, however, could confirm the nature of emergency. Kohli had missed out on a test match during the last away series in South Africa due to a back injury. He will be back in South Africa on December 24 and will be a part in a pre-match training. Meanwhile, batter Ruturaj Gaikwad was also ruled out of the 2-match series, which is a part of the World Test Championship cycle after fracturing his finger. Ruturaj Gaikwad has been ruled of the 2-test series with ring finger fracture, the source said it.